Well, now to the gunman charged with the slayings of the Hortmans, Vance Boelter, and a nasty back and forth over the jailhouse conditions he's facing. The issue exploding during a brief federal court hearing today, just down the road from the Capitol Rotunda in downtown St. Paul. Fox 9's Paul Bloom was there for that very short hearing this morning. Paul, Boelter's attorneys, they brought up claims of disgusting living situation for him in the Sherburne County Jail. Kind of walk us through that, exactly what was said. Yeah, Karen, they sure did. Boelter's attorney immediately asked for today's hearing to be delayed, arguing that the jailhouse conditions are such that Boelter hasn't slept since his arrest and that the two have not been able to effectively communicate to prepare for his case. She claimed the lights are kept on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yes, he gets a mat, but no pillow. She described doors banging at all hours and a neighboring inmate spreading feces all over, so making it smelly and loud. She said he's on constant suicide watch and must wear only that full body lane suicide prevention suit, the green thing that you see there in those sketches, and he wants out of that thing. In the end, the magistrate judge did agree to delay the case until next week, Karen. All right, but the Sherburne County Sheriff, Joel Broad, has responded to those claims with a pretty candid statement here, right? Yeah, Karen, the sheriff blasting Boelter's claims, calling them absurd and saying he is being treated just like any other inmate in the Sherburne County facility up there in Elk River. He points out this is not a jail, this is not a hotel, but rather a jail, and instead where someone belongs when they're accused of such heinous crimes. Here's a portion of the statement we've clipped for you. It's offensive and disgusting that the man accused of assassinating the Hortmans stood before a federal judge and painted himself the victim. It goes on, quote, claims made in court that deplorable jail conditions have prevented the alleged assassin, he wouldn't name him, the alleged assassin, from getting any sleep are absurd. All right, and as far as the punishment in this case, now it's possible that Boelter would be sentenced to death because this is a federal case, right? But what is the actual likelihood of that happening? Yeah, great question. We shall see, but you are right. The federal charges, you talk murder, stalking, gun possession, they come with the potential of the death penalty if convicted by a jury. Now, it is a decision prosecutors will eventually have to make after high-level discussions at the Department of Justice. We recently had the chance to discuss this very issue with the acting U.S. attorney here in Minnesota.
We'll include the enhanced findings in the indictment, and then the Department of Justice, through its capital case, will review the factors and working in consultation with our office, the victims and the victims' families, to make a decision about whether or not to seek the death penalty.
So that is down the road somewhere.
It's down the road, and that decision does not have to be made at the time of indictment.
So acting U.S. attorney there, Joe Thompson, saying it's a decision down the road, Karen, but he certainly will be front and center again with discussions out of Washington, D.C. and the highest levels of the Department of Justice, whether or not to seek the death penalty. For now, Boelter returns to the Sherburne County Jail. As far as we know, he returns to court next week.
All right, definitely a lot more to go on this case. All right, thank you, Paul Bloom, in the newsroom tonight for us. Thanks.